Hello, student. So let me introduce myself a little bit and then also introduce why we have this course, Introduce and Promoting Digital Literacy. So I'm Peter. So I assistant professor of Department of Computing and also Department of Rehabilitation Science. So I use technologies and try to enhance the healthcare and also of the rehabilitation science. So why we have this course, promoting digital literacy, the main reason is, assigned by the university. Our university have an objective. So we really want you guys to learn more about the IT, learn more about the AI, learn more about the data analytics in the information age. So we have this kind of course, but of course, because you learn a lot about technologies, you really want to use it, and then you also need to learn how to process the informations, and then what is the pros and cons by using this kind of technologies. It's somehow about the ethics. So that's why we have the promoting digital literacy. So let me introduce a little bit about our course settings. Our course setting, we have six lessons or modules. And then these six lessons or modules belongs to one structure. So the structure is sold on this slide. So when we have this kind of thinking again, university is not going to teach you only about the knowledge and only about the skill set. Because for the knowledge or skill set, especially about the AI, especially about the information technologies, etc., honestly, it will be maybe 5 or almost at most it will be 10 years. So you will be expired really soon. We want you to teach you the way that you can learn, that means learn to learn, and also teach you the way how you can think about the new, when there is some new knowledge or when there is some new things come, how you can process, how you can think about the solution, etc. So here is the fact. Yeah, can you see that? This fact. When there are some information come, so we want you to learn something, how you can process about the information. So this lesson, we're talking about the ethical model and thinking. Not only the IT skills, also about the law, corporate ethics, etc. So they cannot catch the IT development. So everyone, you heard about the ChatGPT, everyone, you heard about the Solar. So AI and all sorts of the IT developments, they go so fast. Law, corporate ethics, or all sorts of things, they cannot catch this kind of speed. So we need to teach you the way, how can you process or how you think about this kind of processing. So we have the ethical model and thinking, the way how to process or how to think about the reflect about the fact. So most likely, if you are data science or if you learn about IT, you have different kind of levels. So you have data. When after you have processed data and you become the information. After you have processed information, it have knowledge, and then you have the wisdom. Wisdom is somehow about rules, about the model that we can process all sorts of things. And ethical model thinking here is this kind of thing, how you can process and how you can react with the new knowledge, new step. So after this lesson, so we will divide into 1, 2, 3, three big modules. The first one is professionalism. Professionalism somehow is about the code of ethics. That means, for example, HA, if you work in HA, you have a code of ethics. So you need to follow the rules of HA. You need to follow the rules of your industry, of your company, etc. In PolyU, we also have the code of ethics. We also need to follow. If you violate the code of ethics, so most likely you will lose your job. Yeah, or you cannot, if you are professionalism, for example, lawyer, nurse, etc., you cannot become nurse or lawyer again. So that is the code of ethics. Up one level, it will be legal. Legal means that, hey, this is the law of our society. You cannot break the law. If you break the law, you need to go to the court, you need to go to the jail, you need to go to the prison, etc. So this is the legal things. And then we will also teach you some practical skill that you can use the IT related tools and then to speed up or to process your information. So under the professionalism, so we will talk about the code of ethics and also about the digital patriotism. So how to be a professional and also be a student, or someone not always the academic. So how to process the information, which is good enough to in our professional standard. Then we'll talk about legal. So legal will divide into two parts: privacy and digital ownership. Privacy is how to respect to the others. So somehow today we have lots of the apps, we have lots of the different kind of digital information. We have the smartwatch, we have the smart ring, etc., right? So they collect lots of your personal data. So this kind of digital footprint. So how to respect the others, and then how to obey the law, and then keep this kind of private information, privacy in a proper place. So we have the digital privacy, and then we'll talk about the law in Hong Kong, law in China, law in Europe. So what kind of law I should obey? Otherwise, I will send to the jail. So that is really important. Another part will be the digital ownership. How you ask the other to respect your creativity, to respect your creation. So somehow about your copyright, your patents, and also all sorts of the digital ownership. So we will have another lessons about here. Then we'll talk about something that is really practical tools and somehow about the digital skills that can help you to enhance your work. We are also talking about the digital security. So how you put the things on OneDrive or on Google Drive, or when you go outside, so you need to interact with the EHRSS, or in our words, we have the HARGO, right? HAGO, HARGO system. So how you interact with the EHRSS and then follow the rules of the company or of HA, and you can secure all sorts of the personal information or all sorts of data is inside the cave, is inside the box, so you will not go outside your company or business. So let us start about the first thing, ethical model and thinking. So ethical model and thinking is somehow about, we have the things that happen so fast. Law, core ethics, or all sorts of things we cannot catch your new things. For example, we have blockchain. So when you have blockchain, maybe you have new crime. So how you interact with this kind of crime or etc. before the law happens, before the core ethics is black and white written in your on the paper. So how can we react of this kind of model? So this is kind of tools to help you to process the information and then make the correct ethical judgment. So somehow it's universal. We do not, it's a universal student. We will not teach you, it's not kindergarten, right? We will not teach you which one is good, which one is bad, which one is correct, which one is incorrect, etc., etc. We teach you about the tools, how you analyze the thinking, and then how to process the correct answer, or at least this correct answer can be accepted by you or accepted by the other. Because when you go outside the world, you need to make lots of the decision. So decision may not be the most important things, but the reason behind your decision is the things that your boss or the other, they really care about your personality, about your work, etc. Because everyone make the wrong decision, right? So why you make this kind of correct or wrong decision? Because you have the reason behind, and that is how you process your reason. We will introduce a little tools for you to process this kind of information. Whatever you have the pros and cons, you can follow this kind of tools and make your decisions. And of course, before we introduce all the things about the ethical model, we always have the assumption. So we define the terms for every journal or every conference. They always define the terms before they continue about the research or continue about the paper. We also need to define the terms about the ethical point of view. For the first one, we need to define core value. Okay, core value. So suppose that we share the same core value. So everyone, they will want the same thing. For example, life. Without life, we cannot do anything, right? So we respect our own life. We will respect the others people's life. So life will be the first and most important things. Second one will be happiness. So the happiness is about how you feel, right? How your feelings. So everyone want happiness. Everyone want a feelings of happy. So the second core value will be the happiness. And then of course we have another thing, for example, balance, for example, all sorts of the other core value that we want to achieve. But before we continue. So mostly we will define our core value is life and happiness. So it's easier for us to discuss. For the other, you can continue this kind of ethical model and then apply into finance, apply into the other value that you want to achieve. The second way is about the point of view to view the whole world. So selfish point of view is we only consider myself and also my core value. That means I consider my life and also consider my happiness. Because I want to protect my life and also I want to protect my happiness. So somehow I also need to respect the other people's life and happiness. So the other people will have the same way to treat me. So this one is how we feel or we view our world in a selfish point of view. In an ethical point of view, we need to respect the others, and then we need to respect the other core values so that we can have a fair and safe environment for our human, for our people to grow and then to sustain in our world, whatever is in a information age or whatever is in the other platform. So we also need to obey these two kind of things so that we can continue. So one of the, I would say that the good example to introduce ethical model and thinking is this one, Charlie. Okay, Charlie exercise. So suppose that you are a controller here, and then I don't know why there is a live. Okay, so you can pull it. So if you do nothing, okay, you have two choices. The first one, do nothing. So the Charlie will go this way, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 people will be killed. Okay, so if you pull down this one, the lever, so the trolley will switch into another way, and one person will be killed. So that is somehow about ethical model. Of course, later on you will have different kinds of this kind of chart example. So what if there is one of these 5 people, one of them is your best friend or one of them is your parent? What should you do inside this kind of setting, etc., etc. So there are lots of different kinds of settings, and then you can make your own decision. Now you can have the gut feeling. Do nothing. So this one person or this 5 people die is by random. Okay, it's not my business. But if I pull the lever, so this one died because of me. Okay, because of me. So how can you control the life of this person by yourself, right? And in another way, you can say that, hey, there are 5 people, right? And there is only one. So if I change the switch, I'll change the lever. So somehow I can benefit more people. This kind of utilitarianism will tell us about this kind of ethical model, this kind of tools later. So more people will be happy, etc., etc. So we will do this kind of thinking exercise, and then we will teach, or we will have this kind of ethical tools, and then help you to think about what is the correct way to introduce your reason behind to the others. There are lots of different tools for the ethical analysis, and then in this lessons we only introduce 3 of them: subjective relativism, cultural relativism, and utilitarianism. I have on my YouTube channel, except remember, I have also introduced the 4, 5, 6, 7, etc., etc. So if you want to learn more, you can go to my YouTube channel and then you can have a look with this kind of tools. So today we'll only cover 1, 2, 3. It's a practice and it's a door to introduce ethical analysis, ethical model, ethical tools. The first tools that we are going to introduce is called subjective relativism. So this picture is well known, right? So they say, I don't know if it's 6 or 9, and then someone say, this is 6 and this is 9. Of course, you say that both of them are correct because there are someone who forget to put the underline here or a underline there. Okay, whatever. This one is called subjective relativism. So what is the meaning or what is the formula of the subjective relativism? So subjective relativism is no universal norms of right and wrong. If you want to change it into a formula, so you can say that one person can say X is right, and other can say X is wrong, and both can be right. So that is the form of subjective realism. Hey, Peter, what are you talking? And then how you can apply subjective realism. So subjective realism is very common in our daily life. Honestly, all sorts of this kind of ethical tools, maybe you never use this kind of way to think about the to analyze a, a things that is right or correct. But subjective realism in every argument, every day you use, even in the legislative council, you use subjective realism because you just express your point that you want other people to agree, and other people just expect their point and then want another group of people to agree. So somehow they just express their own feeling, they just express their own point, and that is subjective realism. So let's have a look with one of the videos that using subjective realism. Okay, I think that's good enough to let you experience what is subjective realism. So lots of the NGO, lots of different parties, they use the subjective realism to what? To driven your emotion. So most likely they will use some touching story, touching slogan, touching music, touching everything. They try to introduce a really touching story and driven your emotion to let you have the same feelings with them. Okay, so that is how you change the emotion of different people and let the other people to agree with your point of view. So in subjective realism, they will not concern about the pros and cons. They will not have the data. They will only introduce one touching story with one really good storytelling and then try to driven your emotion. And that is subjective realism. So today, when you are looking at lots of the debate, when you are looking at the maybe argument in the legislative council, etc., over the world, they always use subjective realism. And then even the argument in your daily life, you only use one example, one touching story to introduce your thinking, you introduce your feeling, etc., because you do not have lots of time to collect enough data to do analysis to think about what is the best way to process this kind of thinking, etc. So you use subjective realism. So there is another really interesting story, a really interesting slogan. So they use the similar setting. For example, here every 60 seconds, 1 minute pass in Africa. The slogan is also really touching, right? But they tell you nothing. And that is subjective realism. A story, a touching story with a touching slogan, with a good storytelling, and then driven your emotion. And that is subjective realism. And then, yeah, today we
I'm
have
filming.
the
If you're
paper,
afraid, Mr.
tube,
Surgeon.
paper straw, paper spoon, paper knife, paper fork, etc., etc. So all
She's
those
going to be
of
so
things
happy.
happened
Big
around
booger.
5 to 6 years ago, happened
Careful.
because of one touching
Bless
YouTube
you.
video.
Have you ever heard a turtle sneeze?
I have.
I'm filming. If you're afraid, Mr. Surgeon.
Aww.
You know what this is?
What is it?
Going to be so
Green?
happy.
That's a
Big
worm.
booger.
Oh, that is disgusting. And I think my
Bless
stupid
you.
camera battery is going to die soon.
Have you ever heard the turtle sneeze?
I have.
Mmm.
Can you move that?
No, this is. What is it?
Oh my
Green?
god.
That's a worm.
Careful of your arm.
Oh, that is disgusting.
Turtle poo.
And I think my stupid camera battery is going to die soon.
Holy crap.
Oh,
What the fuck?
Huh?
Jesus fucking Christ. That is
oh my
freaking
god.
amazing and gross at the same time.
Oh, fuck.
Now she's bleeding.
Okay, I think that is enough. It's retouching. Okay, it's retouching reset because we feel the painful of the tortoise, and then we feel the tortoise is so poor, and then we need to save the tortoise, and then it try to change the thinking of us, and then hey, it's time for us to do care about Earth, care about the environmental friendly, care about all sorts of things, right? Or today the paper tools, one of paper tool was banned because starting from these videos, yeah, it's really poor. We should save our world. I also agree with that. I do lots of the project in environmental safety. So today when you go to the green cons, the apps of the green con is created by me. It's created by our lab. Okay, so we care about environmental friendly. But have you think about the chance that the sword go into the holes of the tortoise? The chance is really little, right? So somehow the chance is really little. And because of this touching story, because of these touching short videos, we change our life. And do you know who give the money to this one? If you don't know, maybe, or if you don't know the background about this one, we think the one of two, etc., etc. Go to the internet and search about the background, and then especially search about the funding provider of this sort of videos, so you know what is meaning of cultural realism and how you different the cultural realism to sell your story and then change the whole world of the peoples or of their behavior. So subjective realism is well used, and every day we use this kind of thinking to process our information. So we use good storytelling. So most likely in your primary school to your university, the most likely 80 or 70% about all sorts of this kind of debate is help you to construct a touching story, construct your story development skill. The reason is we reuse a lot about the subjective realism. So all the poster, all the videos, all the wordings, all the paragraph that you have prepared is prepared for subjective realism. It's well used. It's a good example. So you have to experience this kind of tools very well. Otherwise, you cannot. I will say that you cannot survive in our people life. Okay, because everyone they use the subjective realism to talk about their needs and then to talk about to sell their request to the other. But honestly, have you think about the weakness of subjective realism? No, right? So somehow about subjective realism, the main weakness is they is not a scientific way to think or draw a conclusion. So if you already use subjectivism, the I would say consequence or the final result is you will prepare more and more touching story to driven the human emotion. And this kind of human emotion maybe they're rational, maybe they are not. They are not. Okay. So they just because of their motivation and their emotion to drive the people to do something. Maybe it's correct, maybe it's not. But we use our emotion to decide whether we do or not. It's not a workable ethical theory. And then there are lots of debate or there are lots of argument hidden inside the subjectivism. If you are using subjectivism, I use one of the touching story to sell my idea, and then you are against this kind of concept. So you use another more and more touching story to sell back or to work against me. As a result, nothing can be discussed or nothing can be held because of the subjectivism. Because the only thing we can do or the only benefits from the subjectivism most likely is about the TV reporter or is about the one who prepare the YouTube videos or the one who prepare the poster, etc., etc. It's not a valuable ethical theory. So we have to think how we can do, and then is there any other tools to help me to or to help us to think more um, 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 logically. Okay. So the second one will be the cultural relativism. Um, yeah. So talking about the cultural relativism, you have see the news on the TV or the news on the YouTube channel or whatever. So usually it will be used by different representatives of different countries. So there are lots of officers of different country representatives of different country. They will use the cultural relativism to explain the needs of their country or the needs of their parties. The reason that we have the cultural relativism is because we guys humans have a long history about our own country. For example, in China, right, we have 4,000 to 5,000 history. And then because we have this kind of long history, we have our own culture. We have our own understanding, own needs of our country. So that's why when you see that our representative or of Hong Kong or even of our China, of our country, so you can always see that hey, please respect to our culture of our China or the culture of Chinese people. So not only in China, so even in the Europe or even in the United States, so they have their own culture. So human, they have the history, they have the understanding, and they have the culture, and that is a culture relativism happens or culture relativism use. Because when you are talking the country to country level, right, definitely you will not talking about the rules or you even the United Nations is not the most powerful organization to settle all sorts of the conflicts or all sorts of the argument of different countries. power and of or benefit of different country will be the bargaining power of when the two different countries they are talking with each other. And then the most important thing is we do not want wars, right? When there is some arguments, we do not want each other to set up a war easily. So we want to use our speech to settle down the conflict or settle down the argument. But somehow the speech, if there is no rules, if there is no law that every country should be obeyed, so how can you ask the other people to respect to your country? So usually they use cultural relativism. Okay, so the cultural relativism is easy to understand that I have my own culture and then you have also your own culture. Please respect to each other. Please do not affect my policy or my settings of our culture of our country. So there are different cases of cultural relativism, and then I give you some of the example of the cultural relativism. So there are two on here. So there are two pictures. One is from Shanghai, our country, and other is from Finland. Yeah, exactly. See that Finland is here. In Shanghai, in the country part of Shanghai, you can easily find that, hey, there are lots of elderly sitting on the chair, and then they are sitting close with each other, they are talking with each other, and then there are different group of people doing all sorts of different kind of things, so they can enjoy the same area together. So some of them, yeah, they are dancing, and then some of them they are dating, and then some of the elderly they are playing Tai Chi, etc., etc. So they can enjoy the part, and then they will talk with each other. But somehow, if you're looking at the chair of Finland, right? Finland, they want privacy. They really care about their personal space. So even for the chair, they are single seat. Okay, please. Yeah, I'm friendly to each other, but please do not step into my area. I don't want to talk with each other. I just want to enjoy the nature, enjoy the path, enjoy the environment by myself. So please do not disturb me. So you see that every chair they are facing different directions. So that is the culture. The culture of China, the Chinese people, our country is different from the culture of the Finland. So they are totally different culture. So this one is one of the cultural relativism. Another more serious thing is about the bubs, right? So I told you that I have take part in different professional learning project, and one of our colleagues always take some bubs from Africa. Yeah, they eat bubs, spider or other kinds of insect. So they eat, they bring the bubs and they ask me to enjoy. So yeah, I reject. I reject. So somehow they say that hey, the bubs is really spider most likely I remember. The bubs is really delicious, tastes good. It's just like a fried chicken. Okay, fried chicken. But how you can reject their culture or how you can reject to their foods, to their bubs, use cultural relativism. So somehow you can talk about, understand, discuss, or listen to their culture first. So you also express your own culture, and then finally, please, I respect your culture. And another thing is, please respect to my culture, and we draw a conclusion. It's okay. You enjoy your culture. I enjoy my own culture. We do not disturb each other, and that is cultural relativism. So the norms or the formula of cultural relativism is expect the culture of the group A, and then the culture of the group B, and then ask the group A to respect your culture, and then ask the group B to respect your culture, and then finally we respect the culture of each other, and that is cultural relativism. It's well used on the TV. It's well used on the representative of different countries because law or rules it is not reapplied to all sorts of the country, all sorts of different states. And another, we don't want to set war. So the best thing to settle down all sorts of the conflicts or all sorts of the argument is using culturalism. I expect my culture, you expect your culture, I respect to your culture, you respect to my culture, and that's it. And that is culturalism. Someone, yeah, of course, culturalism is workable. I would say that is kind of workable ethical model, but they do nothing because they do not draw any conclusion. We just respect to each other and then try to settle down all things, and then yeah, day after days we go or we follow our own culture, and then we do not disturb with each other. But honestly, there are some culture maybe it's not accepted by the core value, or we have defined the core value, right? So we define life and then we define happiness as our core value. Some of the culture they we cannot accept by all the people in the whole world. For example, this is one of the things, right? So yeah, you will get the heart of the winner in a soccer match, and then they say that they kill someone, right? We kill someone. Expect to kill the winner. You can't understand why you kill the winner. Kill the loser. I can still understand why you kill the winner. I cannot understand what's happening. But that is their culture. And somehow can you accept this kind of culture? So I know this one is a long history of our human life, and it stopped already. We did not need to discuss anymore about we should accept this kind of culture or we should not accept this kind of culture. But what if it's still happening? For example, in some Middle East country, there is no minimum age for the marriage. So somehow you can find that, or even exactly remember, not only in the Middle East. So somehow in the India or in the Pakistan, they also have this kind of culture. Hey, it's time for me to go back to my home and then marry my uncle. Okay, it's happening. It's happening. Okay, so it's not a long ago in our human history. It's happening right now. There is no minimum age required for any marriage. You accept this kind of culture. If some of your classmates, they are foreigner, and then they tell you that, hi, I need to go back to my home country, and then I need to marry to my uncle that I haven't met before, or I haven't know the name of my uncle, etc., right? So do you think that you can accept this kind of culture? So cultural relativism, they have some bottom line. Okay, they have some bottom line. As I told you, is our core value. So talking about life and talking about the happiness, you have to ask your friend, hey, if you go back to your home country and then marry with your uncle, do we think it's happy? So that is one of the interesting thing about the cultural relativism. Can we use the cultural relativism to solve all the conflicts of different countries or all the conflicts in our world? Yes, and not all the culture or all the conflicts can be accepted by the cultural relativism. Even if you use the cultural relativism, it may not be accepted by all sort of people. For example, you say there are many items of certain kinds of A, and B, you also have this kind of problem, etc., and or any item of this kind of A has also B, etc., right? A and B will be two different countries, but they have different assumptions, and then they have different history, and then they have stopped the action right now, etc., right? So using cultural relativism is good for you to settle down lots of the argument. But even if you have settled the argument, it doesn't mean that it will be accepted by all the people. Especially this kind of the conflict is affecting the core value. So core value, happiness, life first. Okay, life, and then second thing is happiness. And then you also have different kind of core value. For example, Bea, etc. So if your cultural relativism is affecting kind of core value, you cannot use the cultural relativism. And finally, yeah, I would say that most logical or most workable ethical tools in our government or in our daily life, or acceptable, okay, acceptable by all sorts, by most of the people, major group of people in our society, is called utilitarianism. We're talking about if we can make most of the people happy, then the utilitarianism works, and then we go for this kind of decision making by using the utilitarianism. The basic idea of utilitarianism is talking about happiness. So happiness means the pleasure and also the absence of pain, etc. So it's really strange, right? Utilitarianism is not care anything that is about ethical or not. It's only care about the happiness. So if you use the utilitarianism and then you tell me you are using the ethical issue to measure the fact or to measure the discuss the points that you going to discuss, is not correct. We're only talking about the happiness and unhappiness. Happiness is somehow about the intrinsic value of we guys people. So it will be freedom. It will be somehow you can achieve the goal, and then you enjoy with your family, and then you without any pain, you without any pressure. That is happiness. So you always have the intention, motivation to promote the happiness, okay? Because if you are happy and the other people, okay, are also happy, so somehow you have the motivation to work, or you have the motivation to stay in this society. When more and more people want to stay in this society, the society will become stronger and stronger. And that is the key point of utilitarianism. Utilitarianism, again, is not about whether it's ethical or not. Okay, it's not about the Kant theory. It's not about the Jesus says that I must do it, etc., etc. It's only about the happiness. Okay, it's only about the happiness. So the definitions or the principle of utilitarianism is the greatest happiness. An action is right or wrong, is to extend or increase the total happiness of the affected party. Easy to implement, right? So I feel happy when I share my money with Li Ka-shing, right? Some of the really rich people in Hong Kong, right? So you can see that this is one of my happiness. And then you can also feel that, hey, there is some point that may be missed in the utilitarianism. So how to define, or the devil, or the tricky point, how to define the action is right or wrong, how to define the happiness, how to define the affected parties. If we do not include Li Ka-shing or the other rich people in the society, we only define us, me, maybe below the average of average income of the society, etc., right? Define them as the affected party. Then, by using the utilitarianism, I can share the money with Li Ka-shing. Okay, Li Ka-shing is only one of the people, right? So that is some tricky point about utilitarianism. So that's why when you are defining a policy in our government, when you are defining a policy for a group of people, people in your society, etc., etc. So you have to discuss, and then you have to look at how they define the happiness, how they define the affected party. So that is the most important thing. So it's easy to understand about utilitarianism. So somehow it will be maximize the happiness and minimize the pain of the affected group of people. So you need to define the affected people very well in your equation, because it's a larger than or smaller than concept. So if the actions they can provide the happiness is larger than the pain, then you can, it's valuable. This action decision making is valuable. So just go ahead to do it. But somehow you need to think about the sustainability. So if you launch this kind of thing, all the people will become happy with a long longer and longer and longer time is good for the society to have a sustainability goal, etc., etc. Just like the concept of share the money with Li Ka-shing, right? The rich people in Hong Kong. So yeah, it's wonderful, right? So if everyone votes for this kind of action, everyone will be supportive. We share the money with Li Ka-shing, etc. But thinking about that, it is sustainable to do it. If all the people they have these kind of things, next time the money that you are going to share will be the second, the rich people in Hong Kong, and then the third one, and fourth one, etc., etc. So as a result, no one will do or no one will try to increase the money. So they will just enjoy the life, and then they will just share the money with the rich people without doing anything. So it's not sustainable. And then we have to think about this kind of consequence when we are going to implement utilitarianism. The reason why we say that utilitarian is one of the workable ethical model or ethical tools in this lesson, because it's come up with a formula. When we come up with a formula, so you can decide whether pros and cons, and then you can draw the conclusion. So that is really important. Subjective realism, there are lots of arguments, there are lots of the things you want to give the other people to have a look, and at last, perhaps you need to do the voting to vote the pros and cons, and there is no actually right or wrong. So it's just a voting system. Cultural realism is trying to settle down all the argument without affecting the others. Okay, I have my own culture, you have your own culture. We do not affect each other. Only the utilitarianism in this lesson, we come up with a formula, and even without a voting, we can using this kind of formula to make our decision making. So the first step is define the affected party. As I have mentioned before, affected party will be really important to in the utilitarianism. If you do not decide well about the affected party, so your decision finally may be wrong, and then it will be lots of people will work against your decision making. And then second is define the terms of happiness. Define the terms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. What is happiness? And then how to count the happiness, how to count the people that they are happy with this kind of happiness. Define the equation. Happiness is need to define, not only counting the people that will feel happy. The degree of happiness you have to define, and then you have to have a weighting to do this kind of happiness and unhappiness weighting. Fourth is define the item of unhappiness. You have happiness, you also have unhappiness. And then you define the equation of unhappiness, the weighting of the unhappiness. Finally, calculate the difference of happiness and unhappiness. Which one is greater? Which one is smaller? And then you go for the greater things and then do it. So as I have mentioned before, so the equation of define happiness of unhappiness, you need to have the weighting. For example, intensity, for example, durations, etc., etc. Not only simple counting number of people they will feel happy, or counting number of people they will feel unhappy, etc. So you have to come up with a clear equation, and then this kind of weighting is really important for you to design of the for you to design a utilitarianism equation. But don't worry, we are not the social scientists, and then we don't want to spend time on this kind of learning. So we just introduce that utilitarianism. You also have the calculations about the weighting, and that's it. No need to do more. If you want to learn more, go and study about what is the weighting, about the utilitarianism, what is the implementation, and then the formula of the utilitarianism. Okay, so that is the end of today's lessons, and then we will come up with a short discussion or short tutorial exercise. So we have prepared on the website. So let's have a look and then try to finish the tutorial exercise, and then we will have the lucky draw. We'll have some interesting discussion, and then we will come up with a gift for you if you have finished this discussion.